Welcome to the record player, everybody. I'm Scott. In 1984, Canada's very own pride of Niagara Falls, Ontario, Honeymoon Suite won the Q107 Homegrown Band Contest by submitting a little song called New Girl Now. For the next decade, they were one of this country's biggest bands with hits like Burning in Love, What Does It Take, Feel It Again, Wave Babies, and so many more. The Juno Award winners are back with their eighth album, a fantastic new record called Alive.
Thank
Derry
you.
Grehan from Honeymoon Suite is with me. How you doing, Derry? Derry?
I'm good, man. Very good today. How are you?
I'm excellent. It's hot. It's nice. The weather's beautiful. We're good to go. Summertime concerts are coming,
Yeah.
man. uh, First of all, this is incredible. I absolutely love it. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Uh, it's called Alive. I got to say, to me, this sounds like the most polished record that you guys have done since back in the day, production wise, all that stuff. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, tell me a little bit about the record to start off with.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. I just love the sound of it. It's pretty slick sounding, and I think it's sonically it's one of the best things we put out in a very long time. It was produced by a Toronto boy named Mike Crumpus. Um, we started the record in Nashville probably 3.5 years ago, and from there it went to England for a bit, a little bit in Minneapolis and Toronto, and kind of been all over the place. But we took our time with it in bits and pieces, and then COVID happened right in the middle of it. So it was a long process, you know. But the songs gave us time to sit with the songs, writing and rewriting, and I think all of that was for a reason. And in the end, it just came out so good.
You guys have worked with so many producers over the years, so many great producers over the years. Bob Rock, Bruce Fairbairn, Ted Templeman, which must have been a huge thrill for you because you're a big Van Halen fan, right? So that must have been amazing. I always go back to my favorite Honeymoon Suite album is Racing After Midnight because there's a couple of songs on there that sound like they could go fit perfectly onto 5150. I mean, it would sound perfect. What did Mike bring to this record that maybe those other guys didn't in the past?
Well, every producer is completely different from the other. They all have their strengths and weaknesses and quirks, and each guy, like Fairburn or Templeman, there was different experience, different vibes with them. But you know, they all did great records for us. Mike, what did Mike bring? He's in a nutshell, this record, I think, sonically fits right in between The Big Prize and Racing After Midnight. I think it's as good sounding as those albums. And Mike, being a big Honeymoon Suite fan, he's a little younger than us, so he grew up listening and playing our songs. He's a guitar player and a songwriter and a great producer. Um, but yet he's got some very modern hip production techniques, and he brought those to the table. So we've got big drums, big guitars. Johnny sounds great. I think, in a nutshell, like I said, the record is classic Honeymoon Suite. The songs with the melodic big choruses, but it's not dated.
Hmm.
It's fresh sounding, and it's got some modern production techniques to it, but not so much that it doesn't sound like us.
Oh yeah.
So I think he married the two things perfectly.
I'm talking about producers who you've worked with in the past. It's Circle of Life here. You one of the Tom Tremuth, who you worked with a couple of times. You did Clifton Hill and your debut, I believe, with him. His wife was my grade six English teacher, French teacher. There you go.
Monica.
Do you have any favorites on the record? Whether it's stuff that you like performing live, or whether it's just stuff that you know has hooked onto you. Do you have any favorite songs on this new album?
On the new one, oh, I like them all. I find myself, I've listened to this record so many times since it came out, which I don't normally do when an album is done because I'm so heard it so much. I have to take a break. But each song is so different from the others, but yet they all fit together within the context of the album. I think, Alive is a great starting track. Um,
That's my favorite song on the record, actually.
yeah, find what you're looking for. People are loving Not Afraid to Fall. A lot of people like the song Broken. um and me, I just like them all. I got to really stretch and have some fun with the guitar parts and really take my time with my solos and stuff. I think Living Out Loud is it's guitar wise was a lot of fun for me. And another song called Give a Lot, which rocks pretty good. So I don't know.
Do you, as a guitar player or as a songwriter, how have you progressed over the years from back in the old days and writing and probably being younger, obviously having a lot going on around you to write about, maturity level, all that stuff.
Yeah,
How has your
you're
songwriting grown?
you're cutting out a little. Yeah, you're glitching a little bit there. You're cutting out. Can you say that
Sorry.
again, please?
I said, as a songwriter and as a guitar player, how have you grown over the years from the old days to being young guys and kind of living it up and enjoying the party life and stuff? How have you progressed as a songwriter from then up to this brand new album?
Well, I would like to think that I'm a better songwriter now and a better guitar player than I was, 20 years ago, because I really put a lot of time into practicing and writing and just living a lot of life from then till now. So I think that helps in my experience for lyrics and what I choose to write about, what I bring to the table. I take great pride in my writing, and I'm just so immersed in the music that's out now. Through my kids, turning me on to a lot of younger stuff, new artists, and I still love all the classic rock artists. So I'm just exposed to so much. I listen to so much, and I bring it back to my writing. So I suppose in that sense, I'm influenced by a bit of everything, and I can write. I try not to pigeonhole myself into just writing melodic rock, which I can do. That's the Honeymoon Suite thing. But I've written with country people. I've written with pop artists, and stepping out of my comfort zone, and it's all been making me a better writer.
You mentioned comfort zone and all that. I mean, I know this is the focus right now, but you're working on a solo record. Is that
Yes, yes, I have a solo instrumental guitar album
oh,
coming out. It's finished. It's done. I'm just doing the artwork now for it and putting all that together. Hope to have that out. Hopefully by the summer.
sweet?
Um, yeah, I think people will like it. I mean, it's a boutique project, but I think the guitar people who like my playing might find some interesting things on it. I really like it. It was fun to do.
So it's just all guitar, like all no vocals at all, just all guitar.
Guitar, man. No
Awesome.
vocals. It was a product of COVID because we were off the road for 3 years. So I sat in my studio a lot and just played and started coming up with a lot of riffs that really weren't songs. Like I didn't want to write lyrics to them
Yeah.
or that. I just thought, well, I'm just going to turn this into a riff rock album because I listened to a lot of that stuff too, like Joe Satriani and Steve Vai. I listened to a lot of those records. They're fun too. So I've always kind of wanted to do that if I ever had the time, and COVID gave me that time.
I was gonna say if I could sit and listen to Surfing with the Alien all day long. So that's if it's anything in that realm of Joe Satriani stuff, that's what.
Yeah, it's along those lines. Just yeah, instrumental guitar.
Awesome. You're out touring with this new record. Headed to BC soon. Coming back into Toronto. You've got an Ed Souza show coming up at the Classic Bowl in Mississauga, part of that concert series. Um, we can't wait for that. In the old days, it was nonstop. It was you guys were out on the road, you were on stage, you were promoting. It was promoting a record, doing interviews, trying to get the record sales. Are things a little bit easier now? Is it more fun for you guys to go on stage now these days?
Yeah, it's always fun that we're still doing this after all this time, and things are even better now than they were 10, 20 years ago. Now that the melodic rock genre or whatever you want to call it has returned after grunge was over. So I yeah, I mean, we don't do these long tours anymore where we're stuck on a bus for 3 months. We do a lot of one-offs and weekend stuff, and we still enjoy each other's company. We're a bunch of goofs, on the road, and still having fun, and the audiences are there. And yeah, it never gets old for me. I don't do well at home for long periods of time. I really still enjoy traveling and getting out there.
I want to talk a little bit about. I've talked to Mike Reno about this. I call this the lover boy circle of life. You guys have these things. You guys have that those four things. You have those rock songs that were huge hits. I mentioned some of them off the hop. Whether it's New Girl Now or Feel It Again and all that. You have that prerequisite classic love ballad with What Does It Take. You have that song that's a seasonal song that comes out at certain times of year with Wave Babies, which is always on the radio when I've got the windows down in the summertime.
Yeah.
And you've got that hit soundtrack song that because soundtracks were a big deal back in the day when you guys started out. Mike Reno had stuff on that, and Loverboy was famous for their soundtrack stuff. You guys did the Lethal Weapon thing. How did that come about? I always like to know how you guys hook up with Hollywood and how that comes about.
Well, that goes back to the Ted Templeman connection, where after the big prize, we were signed out of Canada, but also assigned to Warner Brothers in the States. That was our label down there. So we spent a lot of time going down to LA doing videos and stuff like that. So they were well aware of the band because they were working the records in the US. And then because we were on Warner Brothers, they're kind of tied right in with Warner Brothers Pictures, the other company. And Ted was the president or vice president of A&R at the label. He was a big wig there at Warner's, and he was a fan of the band. So what happened was the first Lethal Weapon was coming out and the soundtrack was done. I think Ted was organizing that the music on that, but they had the title track was written by Michael. I forget his last name. Anyways, famous songwriter in LA. But they didn't have a band to record it. So I don't know how that happened, but I guess the name Honeymoon Suite came up. Ted thought, well, they have the right sound for this. So they pitched the idea to our manager. He pitched it to us. The next thing you know, we're down in LA in Ted's office, and he's asking us if we want to just while we're there go in and cut the song to this little demo that was on a cassette. So we did. I went to the studio and Ted produced it, and it was done quickly and it came out amazing. Right at that time, we were finished our big prize tour and it was time to start working on another album, the third album. And Bruce Fairbairn, unfortunately, wasn't available because of he just done Bon Jovi and he had a lot of projects lined up after that, and we would have had to wait. So Ted, we just started talking about Ted. Maybe would he be interested in producing the next album? And one thing led to another. There you go. He signed on and did the third record.
That's awesome. We are looking forward to getting you back on tour on the road. Like I mentioned, the Mississauga show. We can't wait to see you there. I appreciate you joining us. This is a fantastic new album. Here it is again. It's called Alive, Honeymoon Suite. It's available anywhere. You can get it on your website. You can get it on streaming, obviously, everywhere on Apple. Thanks
Yeah, yeah,
so much for being with us
yeah.
today.
It's available in Canada. The best place to get it is you go to a site called Merch in Motion.
Mm-hmm.
That's our web store. It's on there. The CD, the vinyl is there, and all of our merch and everything. It's all in one place. Merch in Motion. So that's where in Canada, that's the best place for people to get that one. I think they'll really enjoy it.
We got to get it on.
We're proud of it.
Everything sounds better on vinyl, so that's
Yeah.
cool for me.
Yeah.
All right, Derry, thanks a lot for joining us in the record player. Appreciate it. Good luck on the road and good luck with the record.
Thank you. Nice talking with you.
You as well. Take care.
Okay.